this because before I came here, and I've been here since day one, what I saw on Fox and CNN was people helping people. I saw the floodwaters. I knew that this was going to be a large event. What I did not know was that this was going to be a catastrophic event, and that's federal speak. And what that means is that this disaster is of such magnitude that the recovery may take a little bit longer. It's going to take all of us to lean in, neighbors helping neighbors, friends helping friends, the business community coming alive and thriving and providing a sense of normalcy in this chaotic time. My role here today is, I don't want to stand here and talk at you, but I want to have a conversation with you. I think that's the best way that we should approach this. I want to give information to you, and I hope that you echo that information and push it out to your peers, to your friends, because that's how we're all going to recover from this disaster. So how does this all work? How does this come together? Well, the SBA is the federal partner on large-scale disasters such as this. We call them presidential disasters. This is disaster number 51 for me. So I have a unique perspective on what's happened, what's going to occur, and where we're going to end up in the long term. Because I've done this for about 10 years now. So I've been through Ike, Gustav, Katrina, Sandy, all the major hurricanes and disasters in the last decade I've been a part of. So I've seen people come together and I've seen people help. So let's start. To give you some color on what we're looking at here, to date, FEMA has over 800,000 registrations from individuals. Of those registrations, half of those will come to the SBA for assistance because the SBA, in times of disaster, we provide assistance to homeowners, renters, businesses, and private nonprofits. So we run the gambit. It's about making people whole, trying to get them back to the day before the storm. And I'll go into that on how we get there. To date, and this is week 3, the SBA has provided $301 million in low-interest disaster loans. That's $301 million in just 3 weeks. Of that, $25 million have been approved to the business community. So I fully expect these numbers will be astronomical, for lack of a better word. A similar storm, possibly, maybe I shouldn't use the term similar, another catastrophic storm happened in Louisiana just last year around the same time, and the SBA provided $1.25 billion in disaster funds. So every disaster is different. People are affected in different ways. But the consistent thing is that everyone needs help or they need a helping hand up. And that's where FEMA and SBA and we come in and we try to provide that bit of help, that stability during this chaotic time. So we've talked about the numbers. We've talked about the $301 million of approved loans. We've talked about $25 million to businesses. The other $276 million, if I'm doing my math right, $276 million, that's gone to homeowners. Because here's what happens. As it was mentioned earlier, at the onset of a disaster, many people are looking after their home life. Whether you're a business owner or a homeowner or a renter, it's human nature. Because when you come out and you see the debris and you see the remnants of the storm, you're still in the moment. So when you're still in the moment, you're trying to put your home life together for your family, for your kids, for your friends. You're trying to put things together. So as it stands right now, those numbers are higher. But as we go down the track, the business community will lean in, will begin to engage because that business owner most likely is a homeowner or renter, and they're dealing with their home life first and then moving down the track. So we will see these numbers on the business side continue to grow. So as we get to week 3, 4, 5, and further on into the distance, that's when we're going to see the uptick in the business community. My role is to shine a spotlight on every community that's been impacted. We have 39 counties that we're addressing here in Texas. 39 counties of individuals and businesses that are severely impacted. So, with that being said, here's how the SBA helps people. As many of you know, FEMA provides grants. Their grant cap is $33,000. That may not cover all the needs of individuals who need to repair their home. So they're then pivoted over to the SBA because part of our program allows for people to get a low-interest loan to help to rebuild their home. Also, FEMA doesn't have assistance for businesses. So that's why many business owners, or all business owners, will come to the SBA. And I strongly encourage everyone to apply. Because if you don't apply, then we can't help. So it's about applying. Let us work through the process with you. The SBA loan program is this. So for a homeowner, it's up to $200,000 in the form of a low-interest loan. For a renter, it's up to $40,000. For a business or private nonprofit, and let's talk physical damage, it's up to $2 million. We also have another part of our program, and that's for economic injury. So what is economic injury? Well, it's a fancy word for saying it's a working capital loan for those that have been impacted economically. So what happens is you may not have physical damage. You may not see your structure flooded. But what's happened is the roads were washed out. And we can all attest to the traffic. There's a lot of roads that were closed. So with that happening, people couldn't frequent the business. The business took an economic hit. So we provide assistance in the form of a working capital loan to help those businesses stay alive. And that's what this is about. There's a percentage of businesses that won't make it. I'll be honest with you, that won't make it. But if they don't apply, they don't stand a chance of making it. So please tell your colleagues, tell your friends to apply. So with that being said, that's an overview of how the program works and some of those numbers. Now we're also going to get the question of, okay, so what are some of the interest rates? Because again, I said low interest loan. And to a business owner or a homeowner, that may not be the ideal word. But it's another tool in the toolbox. What I mean by that is when it comes to recovery, and I've been through numerous disasters once again, it's a patchwork of programs that piece this together, whether it's the state side, whether it's federal programs, whether it's volunteer agencies. We all come together for that one time and we start to piece this together. So even if you talk to FEMA and they don't have all the answers, talk to SBA if we don't have all the answers, talk to a state official, volunteer agency. That's how we recover. And like I've said to numerous organizations and people that I've met, we're in this together, we'll get out of it together. And to also don't stand in your own way. And I mean that with all due respect when I say don't stand in your own way. What I'm saying is get the information that's out there. Make a decision based on the information so that you can begin to recover. So let's talk dates. So right now, for the Federal Disaster Assistance Program, as it stands for FEMA and SBA, it's 60 days from the date of the incident. So October 24th is when we need to have these applications in. Again, I want to repeat that date, October 24th of this year, that we need to get applications in. Now that date may be extended. I personally would hope that will occur, but that's a decision that the governor will make. He'll have a conversation with FEMA, and we'll see if that date can be extended, because there's quite a few people that are hurting that have been impacted. So I would like to see the dates extended when we get to that point. So I wanted to keep it brief. I don't want to give too detailed of an overview, but from a simplistic standpoint, the keys are register and apply. The keys are go to our website. Let me give that website. It's sba.gov/disaster. Again, that's sba.gov/disaster. Or you can call us at 1-800-659-2955. Again, that's 1-800-659-2955. Now, there's a little bit more I want to talk about. And that is if someone needs one-on-one assistance, which is what I encourage, because as people go through this recovery phase, they're in the moment, right? Because this is a traumatic event that has set them back and set their family back. So I encourage people to go to a disaster recovery center. Go to any recovery center that's in the state, and we can help. Here in Houston, there's 5 more coming online because of the need. You can also go to a business recovery center, and there's one here on Fannin Street, 2302 Fannin Street. It's a business recovery center. We'll do everything that we can because our goal is to work with people, get you to an approval, and get you on the road to recovery. So with that said, I just want to say thank you for your time, and God bless, and we'll get this right. Thank you.
So I've seen the landscape change. We've seen many disasters, and I am quite proud of the city that we have and the effort that we put forth in addressing this disaster. Frost Bank, for those who are not familiar with Frost, we're a Texas-based bank, and we've been here for 150 years in 2018. So we're in our 149th year. We've been a great corporate citizen that has been in responsible business throughout this period of time, having had no failures, no dependency on the government throughout that period of time. We were the first bank during the Great Recession to pass on the TARP, and in its wake, we've doubled our size and continue to be a well-capitalized, highly liquid bank. We're relationship-oriented, and we stand alone amongst the top of peer reviews from J.D. Powers, Consumer Ratings, Greenwich and Associates, and others. We're one of the 50 largest banks in the United States. We're not one of the too large to fails. We operate in the major markets in Texas: Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Corpus, Rio Grande Valley, and Midland and Odessa. We have 136 financial institutions, of which 34 are in the Houston metropolitan area. We have over 70 commercial bankers assisting the needs of small business owners here in our region. So we're quite proud of our bank and our workforce, and we're appreciative of the chance to be here. As the rain was continuing to come down, and we were talking amongst ourselves at the bank with the managers, trying to figure out how are we going to address the needs of our clients? How are we going to address the needs of their employees? Of course, the storm hit in Rockport on Friday night, and on Monday and then Tuesday, we're all still sitting around trying to figure out what do we do and when is this rain going to stop? But we were already assessing how do we help our customers, because we knew that just on Thursday they would have their first payroll, and many hadn't been in their businesses for some time, and many of them were having difficulties identifying where their employees were and how they're going to put the pieces together. So we sat down and we came across some discussion points that we as bankers wanted to have with our customers in a dialogue, not a inquisition, but a dialogue to help assess where they were and to help them identify some of the things that they might be overlooking so that they could truly begin the road to recovery. So these are some of the points. And some of them seem basic, but sometimes amidst the fog, we can overlook some of the things that are the basic blocking and tackling, as we like to say during football season. So how much was the physical damage to your business? And of course, some of this you can identify and measure early, and some it will take some time to assess. Was there damage that will affect what you do? And this is not just your plant, but also your inventory, your physical records, and of course your people. Is your data secured, and is it backed up? What's been interesting is the impact that this aspect has had on a lot of home-based businesses that may not have been backing up their data. And so when we looked at business continuity discussion points to talk with our customers in the future, many of these things will be added to those discussion points. And if necessary, can you outsource any of your operations? Since a large area of a large portion of our area has been devastated, alternative facilities are going to be quickly taken up. So how are you going to deal with addressing what you need so you can get back to work? Your labor force. How has it affected your personnel? And I think our personnel are probably here at Frost Bank how we're most affected. About 11% of our people have had significant property damage, and they're trying to pick up the pieces of their lives, and we're trying to assist them. So what are our customers doing to assist their employees? Do your employees have the means to get to work? As we saw in the presentation, I think it said 300,000 vehicles were flooded. Well, that's a lot of people who are going to have trouble getting to work. So that's going to be something that we have to help our employees overcome. How much aid, if any, are you able to assist your people with? Anything from training your managers to help identify post-traumatic stress to paid time off so they can take care of their matters, possibly stipends to help with housing costs temporarily or other needs. There are just a lot of things to consider there, and of course, they all have to be within your means. And what are the effects on your relationship with your labor? And how have you responded to their needs during the crisis as the landscape is changing in the employment base? Because they're going to have opportunities more than likely in the near future to make more money because the labor landscape is going to change. And so what vulnerability do you have to the cost component of your workforce? Your customers, if they're local, how are your customers affected? They have the same issues that you have, but they may be impacted differently. So you can't assume that your impact is their impact. To the degree that you can, your sales force must survey your customers in order to assess potential second and third order effects to your revenue streams. And if your customer base is regional or further, how quickly can you resume delivery to your customers? Mail interruptions, aviation delays, operational delays. In addition to the immediate effect of your revenues, these effects may force your customers to seek new providers. So these are some of the issues that you have to worry about in addition to the buying behavioral patterns that might change from your customers. Your suppliers. We were talking to our bankers about learning about the impact to our customer suppliers because their raw materials, if they're affected, they can't produce their product, and it just continues to have effects. So has your purchasing department reach out to your suppliers to understand their effects? Are there alternative suppliers to your products? And now we're starting to get a little bit more to the business matters, your cash flows. Did you happen to have business interruption insurance? Would it pay for this event? Have you estimated the impact of the revenues that you lost while you were closed? Or the impact of the ramp that you had, hopefully close to achieving 100% of your pre-Harvey revenues, but there's an economic cost there. There's the loss in cash flow. And so what is the impact of that for you to pay your employees, your payables, and your scheduled debt? Your working capital. It was amazing. We were sitting there, how many weeks or days? I think it was probably almost 2 weeks that we didn't have regular mail. So with your regular mail, if you're dependent upon that check in the mail, well, there was no check in the mail. That has an impact to your working capital. And that also has an impact to the working capital of your suppliers and your customers. So how do their effects affect you and your cash flow and your working capital? And so a healthy dialogue with your banker is really an important aspect of your road to recovery. And so when your bankers call you, hopefully they have, and we've initiated, I think we've touched 98% of our customers, our commercial customers, since we reestablished operations the Wednesday after Labor Day. And we've asked them, hopefully, all of the above questions. And you need to be honest with your banker, and that banker can help you identify some technical aspects of your business that you might not be as in tune with that can help you. They're going to want to know about the collateral. And they're going to want to know about your insurance proceeds and your ability to move forward. Every bank, so your bank has some disaster relief programs, and I would recommend that you check online or with your banker about the programs that they have. That program may be right for you, and that program may not be right for you. If you have more complicated needs, then you need to sit down with your banker and have an understanding of how you can work together to identify your funding needs as you move forward and as you recover. And at this point, I'd like to introduce the three bankers that I have here that will be taking part of the in the breakouts. We have Adrian Cadena, and we have Ashley Smith. And I hate to put a face on it, but Ashley was one of those 10% that received property damage, so we're appreciative of you being here today, Ashley. And Jack Doherty. So they'll be here to answer your questions during the breakout sessions. And I appreciate the time that the partnership has given and the fact that we're having this event, and look forward to meeting y'all during the course of the day. Thank you very much.
All right, looks like I'm the only one with the PowerPoint here, so bear with me. It's Gary said, I'm Matt Fitzgerald. I'm with SCORE. SCORE stands for Service Corps of Retired Executives. However, not all of us are retired. 90% of us are current or former business owners. So what we are is a volunteer organization that's focused on the formation, growth, and development of small businesses. We're a national organization based in Virginia. And we're also a resource partner with the Small Business Administration. We share offices with them at the main office at the Southwest Freeway and Gessner. So how do we get the job done? Well, we have over 10,000 volunteers nationwide. We have over 135 counselors here in the Houston area. 300 chapters. The Houston chapter is one of the top 2 or 3 largest in the nation. We have 14 different locations throughout the Houston area. So if you're in the Woodlands, Sugarland, no matter what part of the city you're in, we typically have an office, oftentimes located in the Chamber of Commerce facilities. Our main office, as I said, is at the Southwest Freeway in Gessner. So all of us have experience in many different industries. As a way of background, I began my career as a CPA. I moved into financial executive roles in the energy industry. And then more recently, I've owned several businesses, including a couple of restaurants, a chain of cell phone retailers, and some commercial and residential real estate. So I give that an example of not typical of SCORE counselors, but we're in a lot of different areas. So we cover a lot of broad-based areas. So what we focus on is both your current and your long-term financial growth of your business. So we're there for the long haul. And we have counselors available in both English and Spanish. We've recently developed a whole extensive program for our Spanish-speaking community. So how does it work? We're mentors, as I said. We're there to help. We'll help you in a lot of different areas. We can do it in person, on video, or through email. Okay, it's a low-cost counseling services. We have seminars and workshops. Typically, they're free or less than $50. For example, and we usually have about 3 or 4 per week. So, for example, this week we have one called Navigating Commercial Leases Amidst Disaster Recovery. We also have courses in QuickBooks, taxation, many different areas. And then on our website, we have various business tools and templates, including how to prepare a business plan, what to look for in leases, what bankers look for in loan applications, all kinds of different resources available there. So what we do is we are mentors, right? We're not counselors. We are not consultants. We're counselors, and we share our previous work experience with you as you need it. So we're there to assist you, not to do the work for you. But we're there for every step along the way. Okay, so more specifically, what can we offer you specific to disaster recovery? So we can provide assistance for your disaster loan applications. We volunteer at the small business recovery centers that Michael talked about. We have a lot of insurance executives or several insurance representatives, so we can help assess the economic damage of your business. If you have business interruption insurance, we can help you prepare those calculations. We have several CPAs on staff, so we can help you with taxation issues or help you recreate some of your business records if they were lost or damaged during the flood. We can also formulate strategies for your business recovery. We have experts in human resources, marketing, and every area that you could possibly need in your small business. And as I said, we've got a wide variety of industry experts. And we also have several lawyers on staff, so we can provide advice on lease issues. Some of the questions that arise are, if your facility is damaged, what is the lease responsibilities for the landlord, and as far as yourself, as far as honoring those leases. So our legal team can assist with that. Our tax people can help with the deductibility of any losses, when you can take the write-offs, how much of a write-off can you take, all those sort of things. So how do you get help? Well, you can call our main office, as I said, at 8701 South Gessner. That's the Southwest Freeway in Gessner. Our telephone number is 713-773-6565. We have counselors available from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock every day of the week. As I said, we have 14 locations throughout the city. Some of those are appointment only, but at our main office, we take walk-ins as well. And on our website, you can, which is houston.score.org, you can go to that website and look at all the mentors that are available here in the Houston area and try to find one that matches most closely with your particular business or area of expertise that you need. So that's what we are. We'll be here to answer questions afterwards, but anyone that needs assistance, please feel free to stop by, give us a call, and we'll be glad to assist you.
Well, thank you to our panel, and we're concluding a little bit early, which is fine. We're going to go ahead and shift things over to our Q&A sessions, which means if you're interested, you can select one of the 4 topical areas, and then we'll just rotate for the next couple of hours until lunch. And these gentlemen, as well as others, will be there to answer questions. We also have the Business Expo outside if you don't have any specific questions around the 4 primary issues that we're talking about today. I did also want to mention that we are validating parking. So if you have your parking pass from the garage, please take it to our reception desk. But we've also had a couple of tickets drop, so you might want to check to see if you still have your parking validation ticket, and we'll take care of that for you. And finally, again, we have our Workshop 2 flyer out in the back, as well as a resource flyer to get a lot of the web addresses that you saw today or heard today, but weren't necessarily ones that you could write down very quickly. All right, great. Well, we're concluding live streaming for the moment, but we'll be back up at 12:30 for our next panel, legal insurance. Thanks so much.